granted, there were a ton of offensive rebounding opportunities on the table, right? When you shoot 31 for 80.
Oh, man.
There are a lot of times you can get second chance points, but 2 offensive rebounds from Tobias, 5, as we said, from Oubre, 2 from Buddy Hield, 3 for Paul Reed. KJ Martin played less than 4 minutes and had 2 offensive rebounds.
And a bucket.
These guys were going hard to the glass. And it became very clear when it was 15-15 at the end of the first quarter, this was a game that was going to be won along the margins with the effort plays, with the extra hustle, the beating somebody to a loose ball, pursuing the glass, like crashing hard, missing a runner or a mid-range jumper and seeing, okay, there's still a lane for me. I got to go and get it myself. And to their credit, there have been times this year, certainly without Joel and without Tyrese, that they haven't been able to sustain that level of play, of effort, of frankly just concentration has been a big issue for these guys. And look, a lot of these guys in the lineup right now, that's the MO, and that's part of the reason that they're available for cheaper than maybe their talent says they are. And so you give credit to guys for, I don't know whether it was Nick Nurse, I don't know if they had a meeting or just conversations amongst themselves. I don't know if it's just a pure, like, prideful athlete type thing, but they came in with a new mentality. I do want to shout out Kelly Oubre for another reason. I thought his defense was excellent tonight, and it showed up in a lot of ways, right? Like, so start of the game, he's given the top assignment, and he's got to defend Jalen Brunson. And we had talked about that matchup prior to the game. I kind of figured Oubre would get that because, frankly, he's the best of a series of either bad or subpar options there. And he gave Brunson trouble. Like, Brunson never really got going in this game. He finishes 6 of 22. Now, I certainly wouldn't say that's all Oubre, but he got that started. And as we've seen many times with the Sixers, but also around the league, if you can take a guy out of his rhythm early in a game, there's a real domino effect for the rest of the game. And Brunson, without Julius Randle, is the entire offensive engine of that team, right? Like, he has to go get it, or he's got to create for guys, or these guys aren't going to score. Like, they can't get their own shots. So turning the water off on Brunson to open the game, and then Oubre shifts around the floor throughout the game, right? Like, he got into some passing lanes. I think he ended up with like 3 steals,
if I
remember correctly. 3 steals, had a few assists on top of that. So on the other end of the floor, we always are nitpicking, like, hey, how's his decision making? Is he looking for his teammates? Is he just firing up every shot he can take? And look, there's some hero ball from Kelly tonight, but I think that was genuinely inspired play from him on both ends of the floor. It's one of those that someone who missed the game and looks at the box score is going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? But that's the Kelly Oubre that people want to see. That's the guy that we were talking earlier about developing habits for the playoffs and like, how do you translate what you're doing now to the team that has Joel Embiid, that has Tyrese Maxey? Well, that defense that Kelly Oubre played, that translates to any team. You can play with anybody playing that way. And while he's not going to have the shot volume that he had tonight, the fearless mentality that he's got going to the rim, trying to dunk on people, drawing fouls, like gets 9 free throws, and that helps offset the tough shooting night. That's a guy who can potentially swing a game or two in the playoffs. So I was super impressed with him tonight. He's obviously been in a good groove lately. The last game, I think, notwithstanding. And they're not getting that win without him tonight.
When you win a game in the 70s in the 2024 calendar year, you need every bit of everything from whoever you have out there. And Kelly Oubre with the 18 points to lead the team in scoring, also getting 10 rebounds there, the steals, the assists, the defensive play that Kyle was talking about on Jalen Brunson to start. Good team effort by everybody also, because you had Buddy Hield at times. That was his assignment. Kyle Lowry, the same thing, his assignment. Campaign just running around with him and making sure that another part that I thought all of them did collectively really well was not leave their feet on any of the ball fakes that Jalen Brunson is very, very well known for. They didn't fall for any of that stuff. So when you do that, when you score 79 points in an NBA game and win, You have to get that. And someone was the leader in that part of things, and that was Kelly Oubre. Again, we'll talk about some of the things that bothered us a little bit later. When we talked about it on Friday, I don't remember if it was when you were doing your call-in from the arena or also before you came on or just after you came on. I was saying to Derek at one point that I put it in my notes that Kelly Oubre clearly knows that he's the best player on the Sixers team when Tyrese Maxey is not on the floor during the stretch.
He at least carries himself like
Bingo. And look, he was scoring a little bit against the Pelicans, of course, as we know. The same thing on Wednesday against the Memphis Grizzlies, but he's carrying himself that way, and you can see it by how he's attacking the basket, how he's getting his shots up and on the offensive end. You can see that he is wearing that and wearing that proudly for him, that's the case. And Tobias Harris is not up for the challenge, as you said, supposed to be that guy. We're not knocking him yet. We'll get to that later. This is where you see, again, Kelly Oubre being the best of what they had available to them this evening against this New York team. Buddy Hield good, Paul Reed very good, but Kelly Oubre was clearly the best of what they had in the uniform tonight in order to help get them this win. And once again, he knew it. He carried himself as such. That's why a few other things happened where, again, I'm holding off from saying those things. Nurse also sees that. Get the ball to Kelly. Well, you also give credit to Kyle Lowry from setting things up that way where he's doing things, the dribble handoffs, making sure that he may get the switch on defense to get that lesser defender maybe on Kelly Oubre to give him the opportunity to do just that ish, what you're talking about. Maybe some downhill drives there to get to the basket, get to the painted area, try to get some of those little push shots there or drive to the basket and dunk like we saw. One made, one missed. But the aggressiveness.
Who's leading the NBA in missed dunks this year? Is it him?
Well, in traffic, too.
Is that
in traffic?
Do they track that
I
anywhere?
don't know. But in traffic, you understand why. You got some trees there. He's trying to finish that flush over. And he missed one, made one in transition, which was a great. I was like, pass the ball. Buddy Hield is a couple of steps ahead of you. Bounce past it so he can catch it and lay it up in stride. He goes to the basket, makes me look stupid, and dunks over two Knicks defenders. And then the other, he tried to dunk over Jericho Sims. You have to go hard to the basket against him. He missed it. I don't mind it because it's not easy to do, but that's the aggression-ish that you're talking about. And that's why he believes he's the best player out there on the floor.
All silly like the mayor.